And then the main officer was a New Orleans police officer who had been going around up and down Claiborne and had been, he says that in my interview with him, he said that he observed them looting, all four of them looting a Walgreens. In the end, there was no evidence of any looting. He didn't recover any stolen goods at the house or anything like that. And so, he went to Napoleon St. Charles, where many military and other officers were gathered, and he got a team together, and then they came into the house and raided it and arrested all four of them. And so I found it totally important to interview these two officers, and I think, you know, had the whole system been working, had there been due process, had there been public defenders available and rational bail set and phone calls available to people and people being able to be visited by or contact their relatives or family, and had any of these other things that we take for granted been in place, a lot of these the injustices would have been mitigated to some extent, but none of these systems were working. And so once they were arrested and brought, as you know, in this van driven by a National Guardsman, brought to Camp Greyhound, they got lost in the system. That's when the system was broken down. And even if the arrest had been wrongful and the evidence wasn't there, and under normal circumstances they would have been free on bail and the charges would have been dropped momentarily. But in this case, because none of these other systems were working, that's how they and hundreds of others were lost in the Louisiana prison system. And you know, Todd Gambino did many months in prison. Nasser did many months in prison. And hundreds of others did what was known as Katrina time, where they were lost in the system. Records weren't kept. Some people weren't allowed to make phone calls or meet with lawyers or anyone for upwards of a year. And so it was a complete meltdown of the system, unfortunately.
Dave Eggers has just won the American Book Award for his book, Zeitoun. He's joining us from New Orleans. We're going to come back to Dave, but before we do, we're going to hear from the Zeitouns themselves in their own words. Stay with us.
Women fought their lives down in New Orleans. Can't afford a gallon of gasoline. With your useless degrees and your contrary statistics, this government business is straight up sadistic. Now it's black rain, said a black rain is gonna fall. And you don't fight for us, but you expect us to die for you. You have no sympathy for us, still I cry for you. Now you may kill the revolutionary, but the revolution...
Black Rain by Ben Harper. In this Democracy Now! Global broadcast exclusive, the first time Dave Eggers and the subjects of his book, The Zeitouns, have joined together in a studio to tell their story. It's the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and we go to Abdul Rahman and Kathy Zeitoun themselves. Abdul Rahman is known in New Orleans by his last name, Zeitoun. I spoke to Zeitoun and his wife, Kathy, yesterday. Describe the day that life as you know it completely changed. Of course, life had already changed. You were alone there trying to help people, your family in Baton Rouge.
This day we come from around noon, like maybe around 3 o'clock. And I got to the house, and I go to the bathroom, and I open the water, and I see the water running. You know, for 1 week, you don't see water running. And I jump, take a shower right away, and I have the couple guys, the one guy I brought with me from other place, and I tell him, go ahead, jump in the shower because I have water running. And I got outside and started making my phone calls, and he got out, and someone started talking to him. I can see who talking, while I hear just somebody talking. I say, who's outside? He said, someone asked us if we need any water. I said, tell him we have enough, and maybe somebody else needed more than us. And this guy, I mean, he uses the way, if you need water, to keep coming to the house. And the guys keep talking and come closer slowly to the house, and I feel 5, 6 guys, military, with the policeman jump in the house with all weapon. And the guys ask us, what you guys doing here? I says, it's my house. He says, you have ID? I says, yes. I show him my ID. I think he have enough time to read my name. He just soon saw my picture and like sees a strange name, and he say, go ahead to the boat. And the table in the middle of the room, I have my note in it with my wife where she's saying phone numbers. Only way in touch with her, other way I can't touch with her because the cell phone doesn't work. I ask him if I can get the note. He said, no, just go on the boat. And I tried to get it anyway, and he prepared to shoot. And I said, okay, this is not good. And I got to the boat, and I have other two guys there also. Say, all of you get on the boat. And it happened that Gambino, he's outside coming from somewhere. And as I get that, he asked, what's going on? He said, who are you? He said, I live here. He said, get in the boat. And I brought him with us. And
their guns are drawn?
Yes, they have, ready to shoot. They have all like military, like ready, like this guy's coming for like prepare for war. And brought us to St. Charles and Napoleon. Soon we got there, we have like every one of us been 5, 6 guys jumping him and tied him down. And I saw something like only thing you see it in the movies. Anyway,
but they jump on each one of you and tie you down.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know what happens in this guy's mind. I feel something not good. And after we brought us to the van, before that we were in the boat. I said, "When you taking us?" He said, we take you talk to our boss." When we got there and see this action. When we in the van waiting, I have one guy come behind the wheel, and I asked him, "What's going on? What's wrong?" He said, "We from Indiana, we doing our job." So only thing he have to say, and I stay quiet almost like for 15 minutes. We sit and waiting. After that, he got the order to move. He brought us to the bus station there, and
the Greyhound station.
Yes, the Greyhound station. And we stay almost like an hour in the lobby there, and taking pictures and checking us and strip us naked, and done all that kind of, and have guys surround us like with the dog and sort of like security, very very high security. I don't know how to describe it. It's just very. We can't move. We have to stay in our leg open and have foot in place, our arm in the seat. You don't have to any movement. And after we finish, brought us to where the bus line up have like been designed like Guantanamo Bay jails, like wire and like fence wires, and almost like I think 15, 20 foot high, and we have like gauges. Brought us ourselves with one of the gauge. First, remember exactly, first gauge next to the station, next to the engine for the train. We stay next to the engine for 3 days, running our ears. I think I becoming deaf after that, because imagine you'll be 3 days next to the engine running, because the engine generates electricity for the station.
Zeitoun, just to understand here, you had been looking for help to save your neighbors over these days that you were saving people. Now you were brought to the Greyhound station, and you say it was built like Guantanamo, which means they must have been spending time since the storm turning this bus station into a prison. You'd been traveling a lot in your canoe. Had you seen this happening?
No, because I never got this close to the bus station. What I saw over there have not just, spend some time, you have all kind of very high-tech equipment there. Have lifters, a crane, have a machine with big wheels to prepare to drive in the water. I mean, very high-tech equipment there, and this kind of be used to rescue people. Better to build a jail. I mean, I surprised and have also, I mean, all kind of machinery.